there needs to be accountability held at Alabama at every single level, from player to coach to administration, because this is absolutely unacceptable. I'm Dylan Hilder. This is the Dylan Hilder Show. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. I promise I'm going to get to the NFL draft stuff in a future video. Stuff has just been popping up on me, so we're just going to roll with punches. It will come out sometime before the draft, that I promise you. Anywho, let's get into this. So, Brandon Miller, star basketball player for the number 2 team in the country of Alabama. He is involved in a murder of a 23-year-old Jamea Harris, 23 years old. And he essentially took the gun to his former teammate, now former teammate, Darius Miles. Darius tried to get Jamea Harris to go out with him, essentially. Jamea said, "No, I have a boyfriend." And, well, Miles did not take that rejection well. And what ended up happening was he texted Miller to bring him his joint, which is, according to AL.com, a slang for "bring me my gun." Brandon Miller brought Miles his gun, and that Jamea was essentially shot and killed. Now, Miles is trying to go for self-defense because there was return fire, and he's going to try to say that it was Harris's boyfriend that shot first, but we'll see how that works out. But from a legal sense, you can at least say that Brandon Miller was extremely negligent. This happened at 1:45 in the morning. And as we know, especially on college campuses, nothing good happens after midnight. And when you are the star, the face, the everything of a basketball program who has the undying passion of sports like Alabama does, you cannot be this stupid. But unfortunately, stupid runs deep in Alabama. Head coach Nate Oats, he pretty much said Brandon Miller was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nate, news flash for you. Again, nothing good happens after midnight. This was 1:45 in the morning. You can reasonably assume Miles may have been drunk and that he probably shouldn't be wielding a firearm. Yet, Brandon Miller still took the gun to Miles. And at the very least, that is negligence. And we have seen within Alabama players getting kicked off the team, suspended, reprimanded for far less than what this is. The Alabama athletic director, Greg Byrne, the basketball coach, Nate Oats, they should all of them be fired for this. I'm flabbergasted by this. And what's super concerning to this is that a lot of Alabama fans are squarely behind Brandon Miller. You change the laundry, they are asking for his head. And it is startling on how many Alabama fans are so much in favor for Brandon Miller and so anti. Really, one of the loudest people is Clay Travis and the guys at Crane Company for the Daily Wire. They have been the loudest on this, on how Brandon Miller is not suspended is beyond anybody. At the very least, suspended from playing basketball. He should not be playing basketball, period, until this is over. And what is really concerning, I don't want to say concerning, but a little interesting little interesting nugget on one of the reasons why Brandon Miller may have not been charged, even though two other people have, and was essentially in the same role, I think seated next to Brandon Miller when all this went down. Was essentially next to him, but he was charged. But the assistant district attorney graduated from the University of Alabama School of Law. Huh. Isn't that interesting? This is extremely unfortunate for the family of Jamea Harris. Hopefully justice does get served, and we'll see what other evidence comes out when the court proceedings happen. And until then, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it. But without a shadow of a doubt, Brandon Miller, Greg Byrne, and Nate Oats should not be a part of the University of Alabama right now with how they all handled this. And on top of that, in the very next game against, I believe it was either Arkansas or South Carolina, Brandon Miller does a pat down as an entrance. Nobody saw that one coming. If they do it every game, you would assume they would be smart enough to say, hey, don't do that. That's going to look really, really bad and even worse than what you're already in, because we have allowed you to play, even though it's not what should have happened. But anyway, that is the true colors of a lot of people who are Alabama Crimson Tide fans. And by no means am I saying that everybody of Alabama are backing Brandon Miller, but there is an alarming amount that is. So hopefully Harris gets justice, and this becomes a lesson for all schools. Do not protect your star player like Alabama has when it comes to this kind of stuff. There is a staunch difference between defending your guy and going down with the ship. And because of all this, Oats and Burns, the Alabama basketball head coach and the Alabama AD, they should be fired over this. And Brandon Miller should never, ever don an Alabama uniform again. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is the Dylan Hildreth Show.